Democracy in Conversation. Welcome to Democracy in Conversation. Today we're going to be a little bit different because we have a very special guest. She's an Iranian-Canadian who just returned last week from Iran, where she was on the streets in Tehran with all of the protesters there. Because of the threats to her family, we are not going to be showing her face. We're going to be modifying her voice somewhat, just because we don't want to have any danger come to her or her family. But she has quite a story, and I am looking forward to talking to her. Thank you. Welcome to Democracy in Conversation.
Thank you.
And I really appreciate having you because of the safety of your family. You don't want to show your face because you are from Iran. And my understanding is that up until last week, you were in Tehran. And in fact, you were in the streets just before you were able to get almost the last flight out to return to Canada. I can't even imagine what that would have been like and what you're going through. But we know that right now, there's almost no information coming out of Iran. And with the internet down, with cell phone service shut down, so really your voice is one of the few voices that we have to find out what really is going on at this moment. And what is the feeling on the ground? What can you tell us?
So I can tell you on Thursday and Friday, I was out on the streets with millions of other Iranians. I can say that I don't know anyone near me, I mean close to me, including my family, my relatives, my friends, who weren't on the street protesting for their rights. Because people have been repressed by the Islamic Republic regime for 47 years, and that's enough. We've had enough. So we decided to go on the streets. I mean, after the strikes and everything, we decided to go on the streets and shout our rights. We don't want anything special. We don't want anything extraordinary. We just want to have a normal life like other people in the world. We just want to be able to live freely, to feel that democracy, to feel being able to, I don't know, vote, choose your own government, and also considering the economic situation back home in Iran. So right now, it's really horrible. So people can't even afford buying groceries. So they have no other choice other than going to the streets and protesting because nobody listens to them. And when we went on the street for protesting, they got shot by the police. Can you imagine? I personally saw snipers on the roofs. They were shooting people. They were throwing tear gas at us. And recently, it hasn't been confirmed, but there are rumors that they use chemical weapons against civilians. So some people, although they went back home safely, after a while, they died because of those chemical weapons. Because apparently there are some, I don't know, chemical gas, whatever, other ones, tear gas, and they make people die gradually. So honestly, sometimes I'm speechless. You have never seen such brutality, such violence in the most horror movie in the world. Islamic Republic regime killed civilians in a way that I personally believe it would be recorded and it would be remembered forever in the world. Until just one single person lives in this world, they will remember this dictator regime, this murderous regime. It wasn't, for example, I don't know, we have been on this street protesting since 2009. It has started the Green Movement. That time we protested for the results of elections because we knew that they cheated in the elections. It has started by then, and then it continued. And 3 years ago, it was Women Life Freedom. I was again in Iran, in Tehran, on the streets protesting for my right as a woman, for not having to wear mandatory hijab. But right now, it's different. People really want this regime to go. People really want regime change. We've had enough of 47 years of repression. So we really want change. It's not like that people are protesting, I don't know, for just hijab or this stuff. People want their freedom back. People want their land back. Because when someone shoots you, it shows that they aren't one of you. I don't know where they came from, but how cruel someone can be. Because they shot people in the eyes on purpose. Can you imagine? It wasn't like that. I had from one of them, they said that I'm a good person. I shot people in their legs, not in their head, because he was a good person. So that's the difference. I mean, this time, this regime is much more brutal, much more violent. So we had no other way other than going on the streets and protesting. That's how it happened.
But what I'm trying to grasp is, everyone being out in the streets. And, this isn't, a group of activists or, this is just people, your neighbors, it's families. So tell me what that was like, that pretty much everyone
Yeah,
left their homes.
exactly. So you know what? For example, in the past, when people went and protested, for example, 3 years ago, during Women Life Freedom movement, for example, I can say not all of my family came out to support young people. And there has always been a belief among Iranians, if a lot of people, if majority of people go out and protest, the regime cannot kill all of us. But it turned out, no, regime can kill all of us without caring, because they just shoot. They don't care who they're shooting at. I can say maybe they are addicted to killing. I don't know. But yeah, this time it was, I don't know, students, teachers, shopkeepers, clerks. I mean, it was everyone, because people cannot take this regime, this repression, this economic situation anymore. Can you imagine? You go to the grocery store, you want to buy egg. I'm not talking about meat. Egg is the cheapest food in the world, right? So you cannot even afford to buy eggs for your children. What are we supposed to do? Who is there to help you?
So aren't you scared when you went out in the street? What was it like? I mean, you're standing there, you've got your family, you've got other people. What was the atmosphere? And then when they came, when they started shooting, weren't you scared?
Honestly, I'm not a brave person at all, but I've seen a lot of brave people who even try to fight with them. I've seen brave women who try to talk to them, but obviously it's useless. So, uh, this is like how you feel when you leave your home. You 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 know that there's a possibility that you will never go back home. You already know that when you're leaving home. Okay, but you decide to go out and protest because of your land, because of your home, because of your future. First, I'm living here, so I'm not worried about my future or whatever. But I went out for the future of my friends, of my family. That's different. So, and honestly, when you go out, when you see a huge crowd, it makes you be brave. It makes you be able to shout and say what you want. That's the difference. power numbers instead of powering more.
Now, you, of course, being Canadian and having your life here, because you were just home for a visit. It wasn't, you went home for the holidays. Um, Getting on that plane and coming home, last flight out, as I understand, that must have been hard.
Yeah, and it was, I mean, this goodbye was even harder than the previous goodbye, previous goodbyes, because you felt like even the internet was disconnected, so
I'm sorry.
we weren't even sure we can even video call with your parents, with your family, with your friend.
And have you been in touch with your family? You've been able to determine they're okay?
Yeah. I mean, since I think it was last week that government decided to let people from Iran be able to call people outside of Iran, like that we can call them, they can call us. But for example, my dad said that he was on the phone, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 hours to be able to call me.
But you were able to reach. I can't even imagine what that's like. But one of the things that just seems so jarring and wrong is that a lot of people here don't even know what's happening over there. Mostly because that's what the regime wants. So without people like you who were there and have actually come here who can speak out, there's a lot of people that there's so much happening in the world right now. You're talking, how many thousands of people. I was absolutely stunned by what you said, because we always believe they can't kill them all, but you're saying they are. You were walking down the street and they were shooting. And what did you do?
I ran and I was lucky. Oh, and some are not so lucky. Yeah. But people still go. Someone next to me wasn't like, you know what? They shot someone in the legs, and then they came and they saw that she's not dead yet, but they finished her off.
In front of you?
No, not in front. I wasn't very far.
What? I mean, this is a conversation about democracy. And, a lot of people don't know, at least not firsthand like you, what the extremes can be when you lose democracy, when you have a regime that does not care for the human rights or even the lives of its own people, a regime that will harm its own people. What does democracy mean to you in that context?
Democracy means freedom. Democracy means have the right to choose. Democracy means human rights. Democracy means, for Iranians, it's basically basic rights. That's what democracy means. Democracy means to have the right to be able to be free to choose what government you want, who you want to be your president, who you want to be your prime minister, without cheating. I know that there's election in Iran, but it's not fair election. So although there is election back home in Iran, but it's not fair election. First of all, they choose a few people that they trust, which people obviously don't trust and people don't want them, but they make you choose between, I don't know, this or that. And since we were children, we have been told we have to choose between bad and worse. We never had the option to be able to choose between bad and good. What we really want, what people really want to be their, I don't know, prime minister, president, whatever. But we never had that fair election. There has always been cheating in all elections in Islamic Republic regime, and people don't trust them anymore. So in last election, people stopped voting, and I completely understand them. They were right, because they were like, they will pull out anyone who they want from the voting box. So there's no sense in go on vote.
And
So-
what is your aspiration? What is your hope for the people of Iran right now?
So both people outside of Iran and people inside of Iran, they are really hopeful. Although a lot of people have been killed, we never forget, we never forgive. And we have to continue this fight because of their blood. They went out for a cause. They wanted something that we feel responsible. We have to continue the fight for that. And we are really hopeful one day we will be free.
You'll have free and fair elections. Now, you have been involved in elections here in Canada. What is the difference? What do you see here? And how does that, your experience in Iran, how does that frame how you view the democracy that we have here?
So honestly, during last election, I even told a few people that I don't understand you. The fact that you say it's cold, I cannot go vote. I don't want to vote. I don't believe in voting, or I don't know. I'm bored. I I don't want to go out and vote. I was like, you guys take your democracy for granted. You guys don't appreciate what you have. This is what half of the population of the world are fighting for. It's not only in Iran, it's in a lot of places. For example, I don't know, it's in Kurdistan, it's in Iran, it's in a lot of places. It's in Sudan, I don't know, it's in Congo. So, but people, I can say in Western country, in first world countries, including Canada, people sometimes take what they have for granted instead of appreciating it. And I don't know, when you have the right to choose, you should choose, you should use your right.
And literally, people are walking in the streets in the face of bullets because they want that right.
Exactly.
It's such a powerful thing, and I'm what you did going out into the streets, especially because you are a Canadian citizen. You didn't have to do that, but none of them have to do that. It anyway. What is it that you would like Canada and Canadians to do to support the people of Iran right now?
So we want Canadians and Canada be our voice. So, internet is shut down. They did it on purpose so that nobody will hear the voice of Iranians, and they can kill more people. For example, they arrested, I don't know, 30,000 people, something like that. They can torture and kill all of them easily. Or they go to people's homes and they arrest people, and after that, I don't know, they make up some scenes and they try to execute them or kill them or whatever. So people in Canada, and all over the world, they can help us to prevent this from happening. That's the only reason I'm here. I'm here to prevent those lives from being lost.
And you are their voice. Right now, you are their voice. And one of the reasons that we're doing this podcast is because we want people to know, we want people to share, we want people to understand what is happening right now at this very moment, and to make sure that people see, because they're trying to hide it. So I want to tell you, I'm really happy that you are here doing this. I'm really happy that you are the voice of others, and that we've been able to have this conversation freely, where we do have the ability to speak out. I really appreciate, I know this wasn't easy. I am thinking your family, but all of those other people. And, I do hope that this was going to impact some of the people that are watching, to stand up for the people of Iran who want what we basically all take for granted. So thank you so much.
Thank you for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me, and I'm sure others.
And this is Democracy in Conversation. Thank you for watching.